Look, I've seen Terminator 2 and all of them, and it's one of my favorite movies. And yes, AI can be bad, but not always. This here is a review sample sent to me from HP. It's the HP OmniBook 5. This one here is a very thin, very thin, never shows up well on camera, very thin Ultrabook laptop, very premium. Lots of metal on this guy here, very rigid as a result, but still relatively light despite all of that. What was with that intro? Well, this one here has a Snapdragon processor. What's interesting about Snapdragon processors, there's two things that I see. Look how light this thing is, wow. There's two things that I see that are really beneficial about Snapdragon processors. Number one, infinite battery life. Not actually, but absurdly good battery life. This is a Snapdragon processor. It has absurdly good battery life. That hasn't changed. The second thing about these Snapdragon processors is they come with very good NPU, which is neural processing units. That's where the AI kind of little bit came from. And this is a case where AI can be very good. AI can be used to accelerate your professional workflow and your learning workflow as well, and just, I guess, your private life as well. Because I'm going to show you in this video some of the very beneficial parts of artificial intelligence, the Copilot, and some of the other features from HP. There's two different systems in this I'm going to show. And really, I'm going to emphasize that from the academic side. We do get the refresh here. It's the Snapdragon X Plus, X1P 42100, whatever. 8 cores. They don't use hyper-threading or anything like that, so just an 8-core processor, no problems. 32 gigabytes RAM, crazy fast. So you're going to get, I mean, I'd love to see 32 gigabytes of RAM because these are soldered. It's basically on the chip. But you want to see, good amounts of RAM. That gives this thing legs. If you're doing heavy multitasking, it's also going to give it longevity for down the road. And the RAM runs super quick, which will help drive the CPU and the iGPU. Samsung SSD, we'll test that out in the SSD section. Good Wi-Fi, I've already tested it, and it's good. 6E, Qualcomm, obviously it's going to use their own stuff. Then you do get that iGPU, or down here, the iGPU, X145 GPU, which is very capable. The Snapdragon GPUs are actually very capable, just so you know. Just as long as you get good compatibility, you'll be happy. And you do get the neural processing unit. These are kind of specialties of these laptops these days. Snapdragon, Qualcomm are really leaning into the neural processing side of it and really getting into that, the AI acceleration side of it. Okay, so here's a look at the laptop. Here's a look at the laptop, very clean. It's such a light silver. It's an extremely light silver. It almost doesn't show up well on camera. But it's almost like it looks like a bleached metal or something. Like, what is it, like pure magnesium? That's super light like that. It looks nice. It's so light it almost looks like it has a tint of like sandstone kind of color in it. It's really nice. But it's literally just picking up like any form of warmth from the lights. Anyways, very clean. Looks nice, very thin as well, right? So you don't need a lot of thickness on a laptop like this. It looks big on camera, obviously, but it's not a big laptop by any means. Let's get something to compare to. Here's a USB-A style, and it's the same thickness as the laptop, right? Even in its like thin side there. So obviously they're not gonna be able to pack this thing full of USB-A because it's like the thickness of a USB-A. It is very well designed as well. So I mean, it's metal. You get a metal lid, metal bottom as well. So it's not gonna be as light as some like plasticky thing, but that's okay. I'm fine with that because it's rigid as a result. Actually, that's kind of like this here, right? So 1,300 grams basically. So that's pretty light for a laptop of this size, 14-inch segment laptop that's also has metal. And when we open up the inside, you'll see there's a lot of battery in there, a lot of components in there. So don't expect it to weigh nothing, but it is still very light, very nice in the hand. But because it's, again, relatively thin and it's metal and well designed, it does feel nice in the hand. Like if you've ever handled like a cheaper plastic kind of thing, they can be okay, but sometimes you can feel you're like, all right, I'm holding a plastic laptop. Not here. This feels really nice. And rigidity is like 100%. There's no flex on this thing. It's very rigid. That's nice. Just a clean package. I like the look of it. On the left side here, you get two USB-C. Jeez. They're both 10 gigabit per second, so that's good. You can run fast. That'll be 1,000 megabyte a second transfer. So if you have faster storage like this, it'll run well. Very good. And then on your right side here, they get a USB-A. Not to be slept on. I can't find what I'm looking for. Where did that USB go? Oh, here it is. Not to be slept on because, I mean, the laptop is so freaking thin. They had to actually put like a trap door style because otherwise there would just be nowhere to put it. Right, so you can put that in there, USB dongles, that kind of stuff. They actually got a headphone jack in there. So, I mean, it's cool that they did that. OmniBook, that's clean. Inside, very nice kind of clean design in here, right? Nothing kind of weird going on. You get a nice clean cut inside, very professional looking. You know, if you're looking for a clean laptop, obviously this is going to be one that you're going to be eyeing because it looks really, really nice. Okay, so let's get inside. Okay, actually very easy to get into. I popped it. I thought it was going to be harder. Just get in from the back here basically with that and then just basically pull it. It's a metal bottom, so that gives it a lot of rigidity. Also makes it easier to open, but it gives a lot of rigidity. There's some structural stuff in here, so it doesn't feel, you know, unstructurally sound. It's a little thermal pad there. That's cool. And there's a look inside. It's not going to be super complicated inside, obviously. These aren't, you know, big behemoth gaming laptops. It's not an HP Omen or something. However, it looks good. So you get two good-looking speakers here. Those will be firing down kind of slightly on an angle towards you, so you should get pretty good audio there. And that, yeah, that looks good. Should have pretty good sound result. The battery here is fairly large for what it is. It's a very extremely thin laptop. It's kind of hard to show off on camera. Basically 60 watt-hour battery. Considering this is a Snapdragon based laptop, the battery life is going to be very good. So even though it's very thin, they put a pretty big battery in it, 60 watt hours, and then you pair that with Snapdragon and your battery is going to be like generally very good. Full size NVMe is nice, 2280. I love to see that. I mean, despite the fact that it has this huge surface area battery, they managed to get in a full size, not like a little Peaslee 2230, 2242. Some brands do that, and it's kind of dumb, I guess. So they have a full size, so you can put in a ton of storage over there. Very good. The Wi-Fi is upgradable. It's just underneath this little thing here. Well, whatever. It's there. There's the Wi-Fi underneath there. Very good. So you have two upgradable options there. I mean, it's pretty much all you can expect these days. The RAM is not upgradable in these Qualcomm systems regardless. It's not like HP has decided to solder the RAM. It's not how it works. The RAM is tied into the chip. So depending on which chip you get, you can play around with that. The cooling looks pretty damn good too. I mean, you get this almost this like vapor chamber kind of looking thing. It's not actually, but it looks pretty cool. That looks nice. Then you get a dual heat pipe setup over here. That looks good. So you're going to get a dual heat, again, not very thick, but whatever, and a decent looking fan with that curved kind of blade style, which does reduce noise turbulence, air turbulence and noise. It'll help prevent whirring and like kind of stuff. That'll be good. So, I mean, considering it's a Snapdragon, Snapdragons do not need a lot of power to run efficiently, to run at their peak. They're just generally efficient chips. So the cooling is actually pretty robust. So great inside, nice upgradability for what it is. Of course, you can't upgrade the RAM, but that's just the nature of Snapdragon laptops. But overall, it looks quite good inside. Nice clean package here. I'm very happy with the internals. By the way, I've had this laptop for like 2 weeks and I have not plugged it in yet. So the battery's very good. But I don't want to spoil the video. Yeah, so let's get into the keyboard here. Start here. Keyboard is very nice. I really like these OmniBook keyboards. They're not the highest physical keycap, but they're also not small. It's hard to show on camera, but they're like kind of right in the middle. So for such a freaking thin laptop, they have a pretty good large keycap. They actually put a bezel here that's raised intentionally. Like there's a physical bezel that's raising that up so that when it closes, that sits on the chassis, meaning that the keyboards don't touch the screen. And as a result, they can put in a higher keycap type keyboard and have it raised up slightly. What does that mean? It means you actually get travel on the keycaps. So despite the fact that this is an absurdly thin laptop, like truly an absurdly thin laptop, you're able to get a nice keyboard on it. So, I mean, I've already typed on it a bit, but let's give it a quick type. Such a nice keyboard. Yeah, so it's a really nice keyboard. If you're a writer or something like that, like if you write books or you're doing studies and whatever, and you're just typing a lot, this thing's gonna be great because you're gonna have, you know, infinite battery life. Take it to a coffee shop, super light, set it down, just looks nice, and then the keyboard's a banger. There's a ton of travel, and they're super snappy. And the keyboard deck up here is nice and nice and rigid, not flexy. You have to really push on it to get flex. So when you're typing, it just feels satisfying. It's a satisfying keyboard to type on. Trackpad's good too. You get a nice smooth texture. It's not like a, you know, full glass haptic or something like that. However, it's a perfect size. Probably wouldn't want to be any bigger personally. And a lot of people are going to like it this size, and the click is really nice. I do not like mushy keyboard trackpads. That's consistent across. Okay, so let's have the screen here. Obviously, it's a reflective screen. Like you can see, it's reflective here. It's not a touch screen, despite that. But reflections, the reflective nature of it does have some advantages, which I'll get into in a second. Let's come here. We'll go to the display. Not the finest resolution. There we go, 1200p. I'm fine with 1200p at 14 inches. Once you get into like 16 inches, I don't like 1200p. Personally, I find it to be 2 pixel undense, 2 pixel scattered. What's the dispersed? Pixel dispersed? It's not dispersed. But anyways, I find that, you know, 1200p is for 14 inches or below. That's just me. The nice thing about a 1200p versus, you know, 1600p or 4K or something like that, better battery life. It's just easier to drive the display. Also not going to be, you know, some monster refresh 60. So that's that. But it's an OLED screen, so you have some advantages there. The glossiness of the screen doesn't make it hard to record on camera. So I'm not seeing all these reflections necessarily as much as the camera might. It might be a little exaggerated. However, it is a reflective screen. So if you type outside a lot, it might bother you. One of the advantages of a glossy screen is, regardless of the color space, it makes them pop more. So if you have a 45% NTSC screen, which can be kind of ugly actually, giving it a bit of gloss can actually make it like usable, I guess. When you get into like 100% sRGB screens, 100% DCI-P3 screens, I use a matte version on my laptop because I do use my laptop in extremely bright environments half the time when I'm recording. But it does dull the color slightly. When you get into a glossy screen, it really makes the colors pop. All right, so here we do have a high color. Let's turn this resolution here. We do have a very high color space here. Let's turn up the resolution here. Very high color space here, so the reds are going to pop off of the screen. If you get a muted color space, I'm not a fan of muted color spaces personally. Like maybe if it keeps the cost super low, but I mean this laptop's a really good price in Canada. At least it's a really good price right now. And the fact that they're able to put on, you know, an OLED screen, so you get absolute blacks, and then with good color space as well, really does enhance the value for me. Like you really do. I mean, you get absolute blacks, so it's going to look beautiful around here. The colors are going to pop off the screen because it does have good color space. Yeah, I mean, a lot of brands, to be honest, would be like, if we're going to put on a cheap screen, or if we're going to have a lower cost laptop, we're going to put on a cheap screen. That's how they think. You know, they really cut down in the screen department. You know, they say, if we're going to, you know, make this thing affordable, let's give it a shitty screen. And I don't agree with that. I mean, it's a laptop. So you have, you know, the computing part here and the keyboard, but a major part of the laptop is a mobile screen, mobile computer. A big, beautiful OLED screen like this with good color space that you're going to be looking at all day, then attached to a keyboard so you can type on it. I mean, is this crazy talk? Is this crazy talk that you want to have a nice screen? I don't think so. I think a nice screen is beautiful. Greens are also going to pop off the screen here because of that high color space as it just looks nice. And because it's glossy, it looks great. And you'll notice here when it's glossy, you might struggle a little bit in the black areas, like you can see reflections. But once the screen is on, you have colors here, there's no reflections here, right? Like if I shine a light on it, of course. But once it starts shining through, it really does get rid of that reflective issue for me. I guess if you stared at a lot of black screen, you would be like, there's a lot of reflections here. But I don't see it. Can you see me in the screen? At all? I can't. I'm moving. Can't see me. It's a banger screen, honestly. Now, I actually do expect this to have pretty good audio. I did an OmniBook. Which OmniBook did I do earlier in the year? I cannot remember at this point. HP had a nice OmniBook that I reviewed, but anyways, the sound was good. This thing has pretty nice speakers inside. So just watch your headphones is what I'm getting at here, because it might be loud. Let's turn it all the way up here. We'll put it at about 50, and away we go. Watch your headphones. Oh, it's gonna get loud. That's half. What the hell? Oh yeah, that's nice. It's too loud, but... God damn, HP. What the hell? This laptop doesn't cost much. Okay, I mean, it makes sense. It's an OmniBook. There's a bit of like a target niche for OmniBook, and that would be people who like a nice sleek package and want good audio and screen, obviously. I mean, they're kind of nailing it. Those are good speakers. They're down here as well. So, I mean, they're nice speakers, and they fire out of the here, bounce off the desk, and go right into my ear. So it feels like engaging. There's a good amount of bass on them too, and they get loud, and even when they're cranked, there's no tinniness or rattle. Those are really nice speakers on a thin chassis like this. Yeah, I'm very impressed. So screen, actually quite good, and audio is very good, well above what I expected. So yeah, good job, HP. Just see some guys, some companies making these laptops, and they're like, you know, they're trying to make something that's really focused on, like, let's say for example, students, something like this, that, or business people who need like really good battery life, you know, potentially, you know, it's gonna have a good keyboard, nice thin chassis, that kind of stuff. And they're like, but maybe we can give them shitty speakers and a crappy screen, they won't notice. And HP was like, nah, man, we're just gonna put a banger screen and like really dope speakers on it. It's gonna sound great. Cool. All right, so my friends, when Copilot laptops were announced and they first came out, I was a skeptic. My friends. I was like, why would I want that? That's a stupid thing, and I don't like it. And it's new to me, so I'm scared of it. It's like that boomer thing. I'm afraid of it. And then I realized that Copilot's actually pretty sick. No, so what is Copilot? Why am I talking about Copilot? Well, Snapdragon laptops here, they do have the neural processing units built in, and they kind of excel at it, to be honest. If you have an older laptop or a laptop that just does not have NPU acceleration or weaker NPU acceleration, you will not be able to do the local compute. You could use cloud stuff, but here we don't have to worry about that. We have local compute, meaning the CPU itself, the APU, has neural processing units in it, so it can act as AI. It will drive AI type engines. So, hello, Copilot. When was HP founded? 1939 by Bill Hewlett. Hewlett. Jesus. Hewlett-Packard and David Packard, aka Hewlett-Packard. A small, cool. Okay. When did Qualcomm make the Snapdragon Elite mobile chip? That's a complicated one. Okay, apparently not. What made it elite? Custom Orion cores for blazing fast performance. Cool, okay. How does tree canopy density affect surface, this is going to be complicated, temperatures and health outcomes in urban environments? Figure that out, you AI. Oh, it went up. Where did it go? Oh, I went too far. Okay. How does tree canopy density affect... Okay. It knows. That's correct. Shade and bit restoration. That's right. Urban mitigation. Studies showed reductions of 1 to 6. We think it can actually be higher depending, but yes, that's correct. Seasonal effect. Health outcomes. This is the good stuff. Lower temperatures, heat stroke. Yes. Dehydration, respiratory issues. Correct. And it's more more prevalent among vulnerable populations, such as elderly and children, so you can have a greater impact. Hell yeah. And mental side of it, you get that, get air quality. Yeah, that's all true. It's good stuff. And it's searching actual research. So it's searching the USDA, searching Springer, so probably some journal articles, and I don't know what that is, but you can click on it. Oh, that's the actual journal itself. By Yin, Li, Xing, Xing, So, Kang, Hu, and Li. 2024. I haven't read this paper, at least not yet. But I think that AI serves a very important purpose in society, and that is enhancing humans doing things that they want to do. So if you are trying to learn, you're trying to study, you're trying to be a student, you're trying to be professional, you're trying to do what it is that you do, AI should help you. Just like the everybody, the everymans, the everywomans, whatever. But I also think for people who have special needs, like neurodivergent, or have learning disabilities, or have something like that. So maybe you have something like that, or maybe you have a physical disability and you have audio issues, so you have trouble hearing, or you have that kind of stuff. What am I getting at here? Well, AI can help with that. So let's come in here. We'll go Tech Guy Bo, HP OmniBook. Okay, so this is another one that I was looking at earlier in the year. Now, YouTube does have captions, like auto captions. I don't actually physically caption my stuff, but I let YouTube do it. That's fine, and you can turn them on. Now, what if this guy here was your professor, right? Or this stupid face, or doing a meeting or something like that, right? And I was talking, and you had hearing issues, or I talk too fast, or you have a bit of a language barrier, right? I speak a certain dialect. I have a certain accent that maybe you're not familiar with. I have a Canadian accent, like an actual Canadian accent, and maybe you don't, and you're not used to hearing that. So you may find it difficult to understand me. Right, turn it down so you don't have to hear me in like 3D. And look at that, it does live captions. So you can do this with YouTube. You can do this with videos. Like I could put one of my own videos that I'm recording on an SD card, put it in here, and it would do live captions. If I was doing a live meeting, like teaching online, which I've done before, I've taught university courses online, and when I do them, we didn't have live captions, at least at that time, didn't have live captions. I would have had to put together a presentation and caption after the fact. Here, one of the students, for example, could just throw these on here, and if they're having a hard time keeping up with me, or hearing issues, or maybe they want to watch me teach, but they're in a room and they can't have the audio on, you can turn this on. And the AI chip, the NPU inside the Snapdragon chip here, is driving this. Yeah, so AI isn't all bad, my friends. Like, yeah, I don't want AI to take my job, but it can be very good. It can help you, look up basic facts. When you're writing an essay, if you're going to write an essay for me, and you don't know what to write about, you don't know where to even start, well, why not start here, right? Put in what I just said, get yourself a very basic outline. Of course, check your research, check your sources, my friends, check your sources. Gives you some more here. You can go from there and get started, right? Back in the day, we were like, I was always the type to be like, yo, you should use Wikipedia. Like, why are you trying to write me an essay and not know what's going on? Like, read your textbook, of course, but, watch my lectures. But before you do that, maybe just read the Wikipedia page and get an idea of how to start. It's kind of the same idea as AI. This is way beyond that, because you can tell it what you want it to find for you. Get an idea rolling, right? If you're a writer, if you're a student, if you're a professional, this kind of stuff, it helps, right? That's why ChatGPT is so popular. Now, those are online services. You also have to pay for them. They're online. Now, there is this HP Companion. You can do more in here. So this is actually cool software here as well. This is an AI Companion, HP AI Companion. So you can come in here and you can actually upload documents, PDFs, text files. So let's come in here. What's like I don't know. Let's go like this. Let's go WHO green spaces report. I don't know. Just making something up. Go like that. Also, I want to put PDF because I want an actual downloadable document. Go like that. Urban green spaces and health. Sure. Cool. Download. Let's save that to my desktop, to my test top. Okay, that's that. Okay, so we'll come in here. We'll go to desktop. Okay, go like that. Select that. what are we gonna call it? Green space research. Here be research. Okay, done. Create private library. Boom. It's going to come in here. Now you got to give the AI some time, my friends. And then what you can do is you can actually use this as a prompt. You can do voice. You can ask it questions auditorily, or you can ask it to. You can type it in here. Be like, cloud conversations older than 90 days will be automatically deleted. All right. What is the cloud? Oh, that was a previous one. I need to actually ask the question. What is the cloud? And then I can come over here and I can search my previous things. Cloud? Yep, there it is. So you can use this to kind of like, I guess, log your questions. It's kind of like, you know, like ChatGPT kind of stuff, but you don't have to pay a fortune for it. It just came with the laptop. I enjoy it. Okay, so let's test the noise levels here. I also want to see the wattages, the temperatures. So we'll come down here. We have our OmniBook there. That's the drive temperature, that kind of stuff. Battery, yada yada, we'll use that later. You can see that there. So let's actually run it. I just want to see what kind of temperatures we get here, what kind of noise we get. So we'll run that. Close that window behind me because it's probably noisier than the laptop's going to be. Okay, so we've given it a little bit of time to run. My noise floor is about 34 right now. It's pretty quiet. Full load, of course. Absolutely no irritating sound, no whirring, nothing like that. The mic might exaggerate it because it's closer to the computer and it tends to exaggerate mic noises, but rest assured this laptop is very quiet under full load. You love to see it. Obviously, we're not going to have temperature issues. I mean, that's a pretty robust cooling system. To be honest, that is a very robust cooling system for a freaking Snapdragon. Now, when Snapdragon came out, everyone was like, oh, it's got a really powerful GPU. It must be the best for gaming. Kind of. It does have a very powerful GPU, but that's meant for like video editing and stuff like that and like GPU accelerated tasks. However, yes, you can game on Snapdragon laptops. Just be aware they're not, it's just a compatibility thing. They're not running x64. They are running ARM. So not every single game will be fully compatible. It's gotten a lot better. And when they came out, people were like upset that the Snapdragon laptops that weren't marketed as gaming laptops were like, didn't have full compatibility in Steam. But when they did work, they worked well, and it's getting better and better and better. So just be aware of that. So again, it's not designed for gaming, obviously. The biggest issue is not going to be the graphical performance by any means. It's actually going to just be ARM support, to be honest. Does the game support ARM or not? That's really the only difference here. So this is 1200p on high. 1200p on high with no scaling. And I mean, this is Persona 5 Royal. It's not the most demanding game in the world, but I mean, you're going to be able to play loads of games on this. The biggest thing is not the performance of the GPU, because the GPU is actually very capable. Your issue is just going to be ARM support. If the games have ARM support, they're going to run well, because the Snapdragon stuff is capable. It's just going to come down to, do you have ARM support? And if you do, it's going to run really well. Let's get into a quick fight here. See how it is in battle. I mean, we can do, let's just bring the Persona out just so that we can, like really tax this stuff. And you can see the performance there, 60. It's really, really well. And the lows are like above 30. It's running really well. The GPU's not even fully utilized. It might be just hitting like a game engine limit. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and play Persona even though I kind of want to. When it comes down to it, I mean, there's going to be loads of games that run really well. You just need to make sure that you have, ARM support. If you have ARM support, it's going to run well because the GPUs are capable in these devices. It's just going to be, does it have ARM support or not? And in a game like this, I mean, it looks fantastic, obviously, on this beautiful OLED screen too, nice and vibrant, great blacks, obviously, and all these dark areas. It looks really nice.
Joker, behind you. Go through that door.
Conclusion time. Negatives. It does have a glossy screen, so if you don't like glossy screens, it's going to bother you. That's the only real, honestly, that's the only real negative. I guess like the ARM processors, the Snapdragon still aren't like fully compatible with everything. It's getting so much better than it used to be. Primarily it's games. Like there's a few times, you know, you'll launch a game or something, especially the Sony titles on Steam, and they just don't work on ARM because they just don't care. Whatever. Their loss. But you can game, and the games, when they work fine. It's just, you know, it's not fully compatible with everything. Most of the other software works just fine nowadays. ARM is, you know, coming a long way, and it's going to become more popular. There was a weird thing where like everyone was like, ARM is going to take over the world. And then it came out and it was like not fully compatible, and everyone was like, it's horrible, let's abandon ship. Right? Because like the extreme, society is always in these extremes. And then now that the dust is settled, people are like, all those like extreme thinkers are gone out of the noise, the room. And now the people who are like actually like, okay, well now we can think about this logically. There are a lot of benefits to these laptops and they're sweet. Just make sure you know what you're buying. As with any laptop. So, I mean, if you're looking for a laptop that is very portable, honestly, it's very portable. But despite being, you know, thinner, portable, it's very rigid because it does have a lot of metal, maintains pretty good lightness as well, despite that. I'm impressed with the internals on this thing. You know, it's very good in that regards. Snapdragon processors bring a decent amount of CPU power, despite the fact that they just sip battery. Of course, you do also get the really good iGPU in these as well. They are actually very good iGPUs. If you use them properly, they're very good. You get a really good screen, right? I talked about the glossiness, but you do get that very good color space, OLED, so it's going to be beautiful. Just a really nice screen overall, pretty bright as well. I don't notice any like screen door effect on it as well. 1200p, I mean, I prefer higher resolution, but I can see why 1200p. It just increases battery life and you still get a really nice screen out of it. Speakers are actually so good on this laptop. Like they're actually so good. If you're going to order from HP Direct, I'll put some links down below. You can do that. But if you want to pop into like a Staples or a Best Buy or something like that and just listen to them, honestly, they're very good speakers. It's worth it. Keyboard crazy good. Trackpad good. Yeah, I mean, what's not to like? Affordability on these things is really good too. That's another market that they're kind of pushing with these here. And it's like, you get so much value. You actually get so much value for the price of this. A lot of the laptops on the market this year, just go look. You know, you watch my channel, you know. They're really expensive. Prices are going up, not down. And like at like a pretty steady pace, the prices are going up these days. That's sad, but these still maintain being a very good price. Like they're actually super competitive. So if you're a student right now, student class has just begun, or you know you're business professional or you're creative and you're going into your fall season, and you need something that's going to offer that level of quality, very, very, very high quality, super good battery life, and you don't even care about the AI. It's still a fantastic, fantastic laptop. For students, it is something you should consider. I do condone it. As an instructor, you know, go out there and use these to help you learn. Don't like write essays with AI. That's a really stupid thing to do. But you can certainly have them help you learn better. I would have loved to have it back in the day. That's it though. HP OmniBook 5. This one with the Snapdragon. Man, it's just such a clean laptop. I love that like really light, the really light silver of it. It's super clean. I have a lot of like darker silver laptops around here, like darker silver. And they're cute and everything, but that really light white, almost like white silver, is really clean. I like that a lot. So that's the laptop. Very good.